Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
Well, we're in the Gospel of John. We missed a week, but we're coming back. We're picking up in John chapter 4. We've already seen in John chapter 4, there's some unique things about this particular woman, this Samaritan woman. But also, I want to take you back and remind you in chapter 3, Jesus has an interview with a very unlikely candidate for discipleship. That is from our way of thinking. He meets and he talks to Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. Now we're going to the other extreme. He's meeting with this Samaritan woman, and the fact that she's a Samaritan woman, she's among the outcast, and we've talked about that in a previous lesson in the origin of the Samaritans. Now I want us to notice a couple of things. Begin with me at verse number 7. A woman of Samaria came to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink," for his disciples had gone away into the city to buy food. Then the woman of Samaria said to him, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" Now I want us to think about this for a couple of days. We're going to work through this text. Jesus had a soul-sensitive approach, a soul-sensitive model or paradigm, the way he looked at people and looked at life. And we need to look at people the same way. You know, one of the things with the Jews is their favorite conceit is we are the seed of Abraham. Well, the Samaritans were too. As a matter of fact, they weren't the only ones. There's a bunch. The descendants of Ishmael were the seed of Abraham. The big difference for the Jews, they would look at the Samaritans and they would say, "But you've perverted your race." Now, it's interesting just to notice a few things so we can begin to grasp how profound this is. Jews and Samaritans did not use the same thing. They did not drink out of the same bucket. Isn't this interesting that Jesus asked for a drink? As a matter of fact, one of the rabbis said to eat Samaritan bread was to eat swine flesh. Jesus is not impressed by such foolishness. He crossed the barriers to reach a receptive soul, and we have to do the same thing. He crossed the social barrier. You know, she's from the wrong side of the track. She is a Samaritan. He also crossed the gender barrier. Now, tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about that, but let me just quickly say he crossed the racial barrier and he crossed the spiritual barrier. So the question for us is, what barriers are we willing to cross to reach those who are interested in Jesus?